shooting on an average wins 100 to 150 international medals. And how many of us know about it?
When it's tennis or any other game apart from cricket, the stadiums are empty.
See, cricket didn't shy away from creating their heroes bigger than the sport. When they won the World Cup, Kapil Dev
Very important point.
became bigger
Very important.
than the
Yes.
sport.
You know what is a sports budget? How much of your taxpayers' money goes into sports? If you really want to mess up an athlete's career, give him everything he wants. There is a major problem. It's an epidemic.
When Messi came to India, what does that show? There is enough interest in India.
Yeah.
There is enough money in our pockets.
तू डांस सीखेगी या तू गाना गाना सीखेगा. That's not the thing. But what I want to give to my kid are opportunities where she figures out what she likes and what she wants.
For this generation, the phones and the social medias came very early in their life.
One myth about becoming an Olympian.
Spread by all these movies, you know, Dangal and Mary Kom. End moment पे आपको पूरा flashback आता है.
What are the sacrifices that people don't see?
जवान होता है ना बॉर्डर पे बेचारा गोली खाता है. Then the next one comes. We train this body, use it like a tool to win that medal, and then after that it's someone else. But that's the hard reality, right? A medal above everything else.
Marks matter more than medals. Sports should be compulsory in school. India is ready to become a sporting superpower. Playing for India is financially secure.
I'll make a controversial statement here.
Over 1.4 billion people in India. Yet, just 6 medals at the Paris Olympics, while China at 90, US at 120. What's really stopping India from becoming the greatest sporting nation? Is it the infrastructure, the government, the policies, the money, the education system, or our parenting style? Are we raising children to be athletes or kids who are really scared to fail? Every 4 years, we talk, we debate, we criticize, we come with complaints. But what's really stopping India? And yet, there are 1 or 2 sports which are popular, which gain all the traction, all the sponsorship and views. What's really happening? Let's get to the grass level and talk about sports in India. Welcome to the Breaking Stereotypes, where we embrace every choice, empower every thought, and encourage every individual to create a change. I'm your host, Sudakshna Charla, founder of the SAP Media. And this episode is presented by the SAP Media, sponsored by Dr. Stuti Khare Shukla's Elements of Aesthetics and production partner Pack Studio. Today, for the first time ever on Breaking Stereotypes, we have not just one, but 2 guests, a power couple, a husband and wife duo, one Olympian, another Olympic coach, one of India's greatest pistol shooters, and one of India's finest high-performance coaches. Together, they have represented India, coached India, built champions, broken records, and shaped the future of Indian shooting. Joining us today is Dr. Heena Sidhu, a 2-time Olympian, former world number 1, world record holder, Arjuna awardee, Asian champion, the first Indian pistol shooter to become world number 1. Today, she is also working towards integrating sports into education through the Heena Sidhu Foundation for Sports. Alongside her is Ronak Pandit, one of India's most respected high-performance coaches, former international shooter, chief coach of Indian Olympic pistol team, the coach behind multiple world champions, world record holders, and Olympic qualification campaigns. His vision is simple: to build systems that can consistently produce champions for India. Both co-founders of RPSC, Ronak Pandit Shooting Center. If you are a parent who wants their kids to become a top athlete, or if you are somebody who wants to pursue sports in India, you must watch this. We are finally rolling, and as soon as we entered, I guess the first thing was like, what a house. You guys have built a great house, but we're also going to talk about your lives. How did you build that? Competitive, elite sport. Both of you were athletes, and one is an Olympian coach and the other is an Olympian herself. Both of you have different backgrounds, yet one destination to get the aim right. And now you're here, almost over 10 years of getting married and being
Yeah,
together.
13 years.
13 years. How did it all start? Tell us a little about the background, each one of you. And then how did you meet?
Yes, I think you go. Yeah.
So I've been a competitive athlete since 99, 2000. And I retired competitively in 2009, and Heena had just started in around 2007, 2008. And we had common friends, and through common friends, you meet, you interact, and you realize that the competitive spirit, how cutthroat you are, and what you want from life, the kind of ambition we had, the kind of fire we had. I mean, all those things, they clicked. The right areas clicked, and in fact, when we first met, sparks flew in the sense that we actually disliked each other because both of us were very headstrong. Both of us thought no one's better than us, and but I think that over time attracted us to each other because we like we like people who are, I wouldn't say we like people who are successful, but I think we like people who go for it, who don't leave any stone unturned. And I think that's what are the major building blocks of life. So that's what attracted us to each other. And then we started seeing each other from about 2011 onwards. 2013 we got married. So yeah, here we are now with 2 kids and a nice house, good life with each other. Yeah.
But like you said, 2 strong-headed people, 2 ambitious, both of you were out there to get something, achieve something in that process. And this is also like almost 10, 12 years ago, where the sport itself was not that popular, and you were pursuing that to put India on that global map. To have that kind of ambition and then to come back home to be a couple, is it difficult? Because I feel today, looking at the generation, looking at the couples, the millennials, the new moms, the new dads, I feel we're all struggling to navigate that. How to be the best in your careers and come back and equally be contributing in your families and in your homes. What's your take on that? How did you guys build it over time?
It's very difficult. It's not easy. I mean, even for us, it was very difficult to switch off when we come back home. We were working together. He was my coach. He was trying to coach me on the range. And when we're back home, you just don't know when to stop talking about shooting and just forget it. And if either of us had spouses who were not from shooting, it's very easy to let go and just start your day normally, go watch a movie or whatever and forget what happened in the morning. But it becomes even more difficult when both of us are from the same profession. You don't know when to stop. And what you said about, work-life balance, I don't think there's anything like work-life balance. There's no such thing. You can never balance it. It's just a compromise that you make every second, every minute, every hour of the day, and you just decide, like, what am I going to do now? Both the things are important. Neither is more important than the other. Of course, your family matters more, but family matters more once you have a certain minimum amount of money to support that family and to support their needs and requirements. Both of these things are important, and there is no such thing as work-life balance. I don't believe in that.
So,
I think it's just a compromise you make every second, and it depends on you. Who needs you more in this moment? If it's your kids, take care of your kids. If it's your work, have your kids taken care of by someone else and then work.
Yeah, like I said, we just get the job done. And people talk about this work-life balance, and my take on this is, when you are in love with someone, all right, you want to spend every minute, every second, every hour of the day with that person, right? So if you love what you do, what is this balance you're talking about? You want to do that all day of your life, right? Like every day, every minute, you just want to keep doing that. So if there's something that pushes you and wants you to do some other things because, I need to balance it, then probably you're not in the right field in the first place. So you just have to find what you like, and if you and no, I truly believe not everyone is cut out to be successful, and it's fine. So when people come to us for training and all those things, and I tell them it's absolutely fine to not want to be a champion. ठीक है ना? Not everybody, हर किसी को पैदा हुए हैं लाइफ में फर्स्ट आने के लिए जरूरी नहीं है. कुछ लोग हैं यार, we are not ambitious, we are very happy where we are, very content. So how do you define success? If you are happy where you are with what you're doing, and if there's content, if at the end, if you sleep peacefully, you wake up happy, I think that's about it. So अगर ऐसे करने से आपको खुशी मिल रही है, fine, then your life has work-life balance. But if I want to do something 22 hours of the day, and if that gives me happiness, then that is balance for me. It's very relative.
Yeah. But I feel 2 things here. One, like you said, you pursue what you like and what you're passionate about, but 90% of the population is not doing that, right? They are constantly under responsibility.
Yeah.
They are working because now, okay, he's married, now he has kids, so responsibility के अंदर काम करना ही है, कुछ भी करके पैसे कमाना है, to live a normal life. That is number one. Number two, there is social media, right? Everyone wants to become the best in whatever they are doing. Everyone wants to maybe have a villa or become the CEO of a company or run a own company. That is happening too. So what is your take on this? Because you have seen the generation before and also now you're somewhere in the between. And तब के लोग एक इंसान कमाता था, बाकी घर में 10 लोग रहते थे आराम से. अभी both the parents are working and still it is not enough, and then they come back home and they're not able to give too much time too. So you being athletes, you having your own passion which is also your profession, how do you balance it? Like you said, it there's no such thing as work life balance, but these are the expectations that even people set for themselves and the society sets for especially women. I don't think so women are cut to just pursue their career no matter whenever they want, especially when you look at the maximum population in India.
Yeah.
So, between us, I always kept pushing Heena that you house and just this cannot just be the thing, and we have to absolutely go out and achieve whatever we are setting out to achieve. And if there's anything we need to do for that, and we will do it, no excuses. And I think over a period of time, one has to realize that this inflation is a very real thing. Today, when you earn 50,000 rupees or a 20,000 rupees, 15 years back, that same money gave you a lot more.
Yeah.
So if you see, महंगाई बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है, relatively आमदनी उतनी नहीं बढ़ी है. So that is why now people have to become smarter, have to become more hardworking, have to become more cutthroat. There is no option. There is no option, right? But what I feel is, लोग क्रिप करने में ज़्यादा time spend करते हैं. लोग complain करने में ज़्यादा time spend करते हैं.
They want shortcuts, Ronak.
Yes.
They want shortcuts because social media is sort of showing them a shortcut. They see someone taking a very expensive holiday. They want the holiday right now.
Yeah.
And they are happy taking loans to just take a holiday. That's not how it is. Right.
Yeah.
So all this has started happening after social media came. Before social media, people only knew, say, 20 people around them.
Yeah, Sharma ji ka beta.
Yes, that's it. So, and those people were sort of like you, a little higher, a little lower, and that was your standing,
And
social standing in your head.
You knew their flaws and their backgrounds.
Yeah.
That was your social standing in your head, 50 people that you know. But now your social standing is compared to 1.7 billion people in this country, right? So that's when you want to spend more, you want to take those shortcuts, you don't want to have kids, you want to keep your two incomes and spend it on yourself. People are not having kids anymore.
Yeah.
They're deciding not to have kids. One, the income is not enough. The nuclear families, it's very difficult for husband and wife to take care of two kids, given even a salary of 2 lakhs, 4 lakhs in big cities. Even that is not enough if you want to give a good life to your child. So things have changed, and I think it was also the joint family, which was like a support system, which we don't have today. But coming back to the work-life balance bit, what I mean is that people say that balance, actually the word should be work-life imbalance. Actually, yeah, that's what it is. That's what everybody is living. We are living a work-life imbalance. The moment you say balance, you feel like this is something I have to achieve. Whereas if you just accept that, okay, this will never happen, I just have to live moment by moment. Yeah. Who needs me more? If your kid is crying and is standing there with open arms and wants to hug you, of course you need to do that. You need to do that in this moment. That is what is required, and you cannot take your call in this moment. But then there are times where you have to make active efforts where, okay, there's someone taking care of your kids because these are important meetings and you have to go and meet someone. So it's a work-life imbalance everybody is living in, but it's fine. It's part of life. This part of life is not going to stop you from becoming successful, either as a parent or as a professional. I believe that this will not stop you. It's just that you have to put in that active effort to make smart choices. It's just smart choices.
It's like tough love. Sometimes you have to take the hard decisions for the benefit of the kid or the family or whoever. So you just have to have that toughness in you to make the right decisions at the right time, and not every decision is going to give you happiness in that moment, or like a dopamine rush in that moment. And I think it's also, look at how shallow or short lived, or this our society has become. So I think this whole thing of social media, everything has become so everything is such a short lived thing. There's no concept of delayed gratification. Sabko instant gratification chahiye.
Yeah.
Nobody is looking at, say, okay, suppose somebody successful, they're taking a nice holiday, have a good car. Nobody really wants to see the 20-25 years of effort that those guys have put in before that. What these guys are just seeing is what is there now, and we want it now. और उसके लिए आज लोन अवेलेबल है, हम वो ले लेंगे. कल का क्या होगा, किसने देखा देखी जाएगी. It's just becoming very dangerous, I would say.
Yeah, the whole generation is like that, because at 20 we have CEOs, we have billionaires, everybody wants to do a startup, and education also has changed, and that's why I feel then the parenting part comes in, and it just...
So that's fine. I feel people wanting to have their own businesses, starting startups, that's perfect. They're trying to chase their dreams, and that is what we are talking about. But what we are trying to say is, you're chasing your dream, you're working hard for it. That's what startups do. That's what this younger generation, I do feel that they have far more, they're more passionate than we were as millennials. They are not scared. Okay, so they do have their strengths. Yeah. But the weakness is that for this generation, the phones and the social medias came very early in their life, and now we are realizing the ill effects of screen time for kids, and now everybody is putting in an effort to take the screens back and go back, not have this dopamine rush. So there's a lot of research now coming in, and people are talking about it. But think about the time from, say, 2010 to 2020, 2022. Everybody was just going crazy, gung-ho over social media, phones, this model, that model. And now people are like, okay, this is something, but now people are realizing, okay, this is social media, this is the platform, these are the tools I have, this is AI. What can I build out of it? Yeah. Okay.
But aren't we too late for that already? Because...
So there will be people who are misusing it. Yeah. Yes, there will be people who are using it as a tool and building startups, building their lives, even building unicorns. We need.
See, the problem is when you're not putting in the required effort and complaining कि वो बाकी सबका हो रहा है मेरे साथ, like a victim mindset. That's a bigger problem.
But do you think here, as an athlete, the mindset kind of makes a difference, because you have learned failures and wins every single day. You have the patience, you know the results are not going to be tomorrow. You're not going to be a world number one in 1 year. Yeah. So does that change? And what is your trick or your mindset when it comes to life and being a sports person? Yeah. How does...
I feel the society needs sports more than ever. More than ever, because of all these things that we are seeing.
It should be compulsory in schools. Yes. It should be part of nation building, I would say. Otherwise,
right now we need it more than ever. Thing that's going on, getting your dopamine kicks, like cheap dopamine that we get by just scrolling, right?
Now in Korea, the Gen Z is just, there are apps where they act as the delivery partner. They order food, they scroll through the app, and then they wait until the delivery is done, but there's no food that's coming. It's just for their
keep them occupied. Yeah. So see, I would say, before the screens and before this technology, see, everything has its advantages and disadvantages, depending on how we use it. Till this came, let's suppose we were all at a zero level. Yeah. All right. Now, what these screens and all the misuse of technology and this dopamine rush and this short-term instant gratification and all those things, what it does is now it has put us in negative. Yeah. It has put us in negative of human traits and life skills that is expected out of you. But now we are already negative. Sport is one such thing that will help us come back to zero, if not in positive. Right. And the dopamine rush, the sense of elation or the sense of satisfaction that we get out of these, these short-term kicks, sport will be able to give you that. Sport will be able to give you that sense of achievement and accomplishment. So that's why I say that now more than ever, sport absolutely has to be more important than the study that you do in school. And
I think, and it's also AI proof. It is
Yeah.
one sector which is AI proof. Nobody is going to watch robots playing football with each other. Never. I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to see that day. And
we might come down to video games, but वो भी इंसान ही खेलेगा ना.
yeah.
Esports is such a
Yeah,
Yes.
but then finally it's a human playing versus
Yeah.
a human. Yeah.
So yes, that said, I feel like what we are missing is that with time, have you seen people who go to gym? They love going to gym and they sort of get addicted to it because dopamine also comes after effort. When you put in effort, you do get that dopamine, but the good thing is that it stays. It tapers off very slowly.
Yeah.
Same way if you have a cold shower, okay, that can stay up to 2 hours. That kind of dopamine. And then there are certain things in life. For example, when I became world number 1, that dopamine keeps staying with you for a very, very long time. Every time you talk about it, you think about it, it still is tapering off. It's still there, right? So I'm saying from research point of view. But now, if you make the same dopamine so cheap that okay, you get it like a cigarette shot or whatever.
Is it a spike?
Yeah, it is a spike.
No,
Yeah.
even
So
on
spike fall.
app people are
Yes.
acting like they're
Yeah,
So I think
it's like
it's
a
high
shot.
time now government will have to start regulating this.
You get a spike, you get an immediate dip, and then you need that spike again. So there's no such thing which is like tapering it like this. So that's what sports does, and we need to give it to our children, because everything else it's very easy to get addicted to. I want them to be addicted to sports, to effort, to physical effort, to when they go out in the parks, when 4 kids are playing, they're negotiating. Oh, we don't have a goal post, but we have a football. How do we play football now? Okay, they'll put 2 sticks in the ground. This becomes the goal post. Now somebody else will say, no, I will not agree to these terms.
Simple, mera bat, mere rules.
Yeah,
remember in the
so
case,
you will have some young kid who is not able to catch up to all the big guys running around. So they will sort of like tweak the rules for him.
Yeah.
This is real world. This is where kids. This is where kids start learning negotiation, leadership, risk taking, human behavior. So even before we start giving them workshops on leadership and this and that, just give them an open field. Just give them one football or nothing. They'll make a play out of it themselves. They'll take 4 sticks or 4 stones and they'll do it. वो नहीं होता था, you put stones on top of each other.
Nagori.
Yeah. So what is that? It just came out of
boredom. Just think of it this way. People say, oh, athletes, such amazing mental strength and mind training and all of those things. The first thing required to be a good athlete is to be, I would say, a first thing required to be a good human being is to know yourself, to be in touch with yourself, to have a connect with your own self, to know what you think and what you feel and all of those things. Now, when you're constantly on your phones and constantly keeping yourself engaged through external stimulus, when are you going to connect to yourself? So today, if you see anyone waiting outside somebody's office or waiting at the airport, everyone immediately, sometimes phone बज भी नहीं रहा होता, लोग निकाल के देखते हैं, वो कोई मैसेज तो नहीं आया. I mean, what is this? Just sit down, be with your thoughts. अरे कभी गाना गुनगुना लो, till you don't sit idle, till you don't get bored, till you don't connect with your own thoughts, you will not know what you are feeling. And then comes the next step. Why am I feeling this? Oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this. No, this is how I should be thinking. That is how you start taking care of yourself. And if every individual person starts taking care of themselves and are at peace with their thoughts and themselves, look at the kind of impulsive behaviors we have today on the road rage and all. And where is all this stemming from? Yeah. It's all eventually has to come down that people have lost touch with themselves.
And I feel somewhere we are trying to give it to our kids, but what about us, like the maximum audience out there who is spending 8 hours, 9 hours doing a desk job, or they're figuring out their lives. I'm sure a lot of them here are also somebody who are still figuring out, right, what to do. What would be their life goal, like on a routine basis also? how will they kind of manage to add in such qualities?
I think, you know what, this has, everybody keeps asking this, that what can we do, what can we do? Actually what they're asking is, can you give us a hack?
Yeah.
That's what this question
एक
really
secret
entails.
magic pill दे दो.
कुछ तो hack बता दो, that आज से ही मेरा screen time कम हो जाए, आज से ही ये हो जाए, आज. But actually there's no hack. Just decide.
You're too late already. These are your habits.
I mean, no, just decide. Just do it.
But see, for that you need willpower. All right, for willpower, you need to know and you need to have those qualities of resilience and self-control that if I decide I'm going to do this because this is good for me.
No. I feel you just need to decide. You just need to decide, even if you don't have the resilience, you don't have the self-confidence, you don't have the willpower, it actually all starts from a decision that I decide and I do it. And the problem is, I will tell you what the problem, I'll give you a little example. For example, if someone is going on a diet, they first want to know when is my cheat day. Why? What is a cheat day?
Yeah.
What a cheat day is, I will tell you. I am doing this and the reward is to eat. Something that you're trying to avoid. You make that a reward. How is it going to work then? And for 1 week, every time that you stop yourself from eating unhealthy, that's a little decision you take. Oh my God, that thing is waiting for me. That thing is waiting for me. You are taking a little bit of your brain power to keep processing that decision again and again and again and again. So when I work on a habit, I just decide. I never think about it. I never think about what is the reward.
But Heena, that's because you have those qualities which you developed as a kid.
But I am giving this hack suddenly, out now.
But then
people ask for a hack,
but suddenly it's very difficult.
Keep thinking about the other side.
Suddenly it's very difficult and next to impossible for those people to do it because they don't have the ability. They've not developed that ability, and that is why
he misses his butter chicken. He will side up with those people.
But then I also do 1 meal a day. All right, so I sit with people and I'm not having anything and I watch them have and I don't get tempted. So we have our own qualities, but that's because of what we have ingrained as kids. Just see, like I run an academy, right? When I was an athlete, at the age of 13, I represented the country and I was in Germany. This was in the year of 2009, 13, 14 years old, whatever. And in those days, there were no cell phones. ISD कॉल करने के लिए I think 1 मिनट का 100-150 रुपए लग जाता था उस दिनों में. There was no question that people could connect with their families when they were traveling. Our whole team, the junior team, would travel. 10-12 दिन का कंपटीशन करके हम घर आ जाते थे. हमारे पेरेंट्स का हमें कभी कॉल नहीं आया और हमने एक आध बार वहां से कॉल करके इमरजेंसी एक नंबर दे दिया या कोच को बोल दिया नंबर दे देने के लिए, बिकॉज कहाँ से पैसे आएंगे इतना ये सब कनेक्ट करने के लिए. And our parents were fine with us traveling without cell phones, without being in touch, etc., etc. Today, you want to know every step, every movement of your kid. Why? You can't let your kid alone for a few minutes. You can't let your kid develop a relationship with the coach because the parents wants to ensure whether the coach is coaching them right or not. Parents को sport की है, वो subject की ABCD नहीं पता है. Parents को coaching की ABCD नहीं पता है, but parents will decide whether the coach is teaching them correctly or not. What is this? You're interfering in your child's development. You're not letting your child be. You're not letting your child grow. And it is just causing interference, not just for your child, but look at the relation that the child is developing with other athletes, with the other classmates. So I feel we are corrupting everything because we feel the kid doesn't know anything and we need to take care. We need to take care and ensure that the kid is protected and is safe. We need to give them a boundary within which they are free to do what they wish. At the age of 11, I would cycle to my school, which was about 1.5 kilometers from my house. Not very far.
Now traffic is also...
Okay, now traffic is so much. But I'm giving you an example. Today, can you imagine leaving your child, even on a Sunday, 2 kilometers on the road, go and get some groceries? Tell me anybody who can do that. Yeah. They will go in a chauffeur-driven car, not even public transport.
Ronak, I also feel that there's a difference in the way millennials, because they are the parents today, millennials think versus the baby boomers used to think. They were least bothered about anything. Actually,
if you toughen up, let them figure it out.
They were least bothered about even the education they are getting. School mein kaun si class
mein mummy ne kitni mara hai, kitni maar padi hai education ke
piche. But you ask the dads, they wouldn't even know kaun si class
because they were very busy making a life.
or busy reading the newspaper. वो भी होता था, ऐसा नहीं है. So millennials saw that kind of parenting.
But then you need to know what more you want to give in which way,
Yes.
right? So
No.
for example, I want to give everything to my kid, but what I want to give to my kid are opportunities where she figures out what she likes and what she wants. So my job, because I've done well in life, is to be able to expose her to different avenues. She should not be, it's like this. As a kid, I wanted to learn dancing or music, and say if my parents said, no, we can't afford that class, वो नौबत नहीं आनी चाहिए. But नहीं, तू डांस सीखेगी या तू गाना गाना सीखेगा versus that's not the thing. The whole idea is to provide them with resources that they are able to do what they feel like doing. And our job is to research and be sure that the coaching class or the coaching center or the coach or the professor or the school that we are choosing for our kids is the best in that field. So our job is to do the due diligence, is to do the research, and then let the kid grow with that expert.
But like when we were in schools, sports was just one period a week, extracurricular. It is still treated like that in most of the schools, and it is a part of your academics. That's it. It's not a whole and soul goal. And the other day in your reel also you mentioned like खेल रहे हो तो बिगड़ जाओगे. It's not your life goal. And everyone today, if they're pursuing any sport, it's still for passion. It's not like they always are asked by the parents to have a backup goal or a backup plan. And maybe very less sports like okay abhi cricket popular hai to kar lo, but something like shooting or any other sport in India where it is not very popular, parents are not very keen. I would say, what's your opinion on this about sports being a very important part in our lives at every stage? And then there's sports tourism, wellness tourism. People wants to do Pilates by the beach or on a cruise. That is also there. What's your take on everything?
So I have two things to say over here. One thing is, if the parents are saying that following your passion in sports does not mean that you leave your education, they're absolutely bang on. No athlete should need to leave their education. Okay, it's very important. It's as important as sports. I will never ever say sports is I will never pitch sports against education or education against sports. It's just wrong.
Education teaches you to think.
Yes, and I will tell you, education makes athletes even smarter.
Yeah.
Okay, and athletes who have played competitively in any sport become very good in whatever they pursue, even in their professional careers and corporate jobs. Like I said, they start learning leadership qualities, risk taking, human emotions, negotiations far earlier than anybody else. Okay, teamwork, how to get the best out of the team, how to not leave the last man down. These are the things that corporates pay for, and they do workshops,
special classes.
Special classes. But if you just let them do it, life teaches you all this. But at the same time, please, anybody who's thinking that if I am pursuing my sports, that means that I can get a free ticket out of my education, that's where the parents are right. And that's where the system needs to evolve, in the sense that we need to incorporate sports into education. Now, I'll give you an example. So that day I was on the social media, I was talking about rural and urban India. There is a big problem, one big problem in rural India. The kids start young, they are healthy, they engage in unstructured play. They have a lot of options, okay, when it comes to open field plays. But here is where the tough part is. The tough part is to get them into the cities when they've stopped growing after a certain level. They will still go back to their village wala coach. वही सर हैं, हमारी यही डाइट है, हमारी तो इसी से हमारा होता है. Certain places have that full ecosystem where it can support these athletes. But after a while, you will hit that ceiling. And you will not understand, because you are not educated enough to understand that I have hit that ceiling. This coach is not going to take me to the next level. I now need sports science. I need trainers. I need SNCs. I need to shift to the city. I need to go to the bigger stadiums. I need to practice where there are 1,000 people watching me. Okay, I can't be just playing football on the field. So these are the things those people don't understand. So in USA, NCAA, who takes care of most of these athletes, they make sure that athletes go back to their education. It doesn't matter if instead of 2 years you take 5.
Yeah.
You must have seen so many stories that, after winning MBA, this or Olympic medals or whatever, this athlete went back to finish their graduation. You must have heard, right? Why is it not happening in India?
No one is asking.
No one is
cares.
asking. And also because there is sometimes in certain courses this option is not there. You either complete in 2 years, 3 years, or you're out. So if there's an athlete who's playing, let them take those 5 years. If they've stopped their education for a year because this was a very important year for them, they were out of the country training, they were going for the Olympics or whatever, let them come back the 3rd year, let them sit with the next batch. What's the harm? Let them sit for the 4th year. I mean, at the end of the day, so what now the problem is, why the parents say that this is a big risk, is because once you're done with your athletic career, okay, you may be whoever you are. What are you going to do in life? Are
and
you
going to be very
become...
young when you
Yes,
retire.
and athletes also have a very high tendency of going down the wrong tracks because they're used to getting that high, right? They need their team, they need their coaches, they need new goals in life. They're very driven people. If you do not give them goals, they'll just create goals which are unhealthy. Okay, they might be addicted to drugs, they might be addicted to alcohol, because these are driven people. But at the same time, they've got so many skills that today India's economy needs. They are such good workers, they are hardworking people, they are loyal, they go after a goal with this crazy mindset, and they're formidable. I mean, just upskill them and put them in any job. I mean, these are the kind of people we need in India today. So that's where I believe that what parents say is right, but where parents are wrong is they always push for education. That's it. 8 hours putting your kids in tuitions and this and that, yehi college chahiye, yehi chahiye, and then they completely discount what they learn from sports. Because the thing is that sports में कोई report card नहीं आता ना, रिपोर्ट कार्ड नहीं आता, आपको मार्क्स नहीं आते, आपको पता ही नहीं चलता पिछली बार 90 थी, इस बार 95 है, आपको लगता है कि अच्छा किया है. स्पोर्ट्स में कौन सा रिपोर्ट कार्ड है? हु इज गोना टेल यू हाउ मच लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज योर किड हैज लर्नड playing with other kids? How many bullies he's tackled playing with other kids? Is he bullying other people? These are the things which are just intangible. That's why they don't know what they're learning from sports, unless medal. They only understand medal.
That's what I want to ask.
I would again, I want to elaborate on this. So I think there are a couple of issues we have here. One is we have an attitude problem. We are a lazy society. Let's just accept it. We are a lazy society. हम जुगाड़ू लोग हैं. So now there is an attitude problem and there is a systems problem. When I say there's an attitude problem, is I'll give you my first-hand experience. I run academies. I've been the coach of the Indian team for the last 10, 12 years. And there is a major problem. It's an epidemic. जहाँ पे the kid wants to play sports जिससे पढ़ाई ना करना पड़े. And the parents feel, and now when you are in an urban city, the parents don't want the kid to take up sports because he has job avenues, work avenues, आगे वो है, so they don't want to let go of that and they don't want to put the kid in sport, whereas the kid is an intelligent person because he has education. But now, when we talk of, say, the hinterland, all right, we have very strong, physically strong, mentally strong kids because they faced more hardships, physical and mental hardships. उतनी luxuries वहाँ पे नहीं है, so they're very resilient relatively. But now उनको वहाँ पढ़ना नहीं है because they don't see the purpose of studying, because आगे avenues ही नहीं है, तो पढ़ के करेंगे क्या, नौकरी मिलेगी कैसे, ठीक है? तो उनको खेल करना है ना, उनको खेल करना है, और उनके पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि नहीं, खेल में डालेंगे तो फुल टाइम अब खेल में ही डालना पड़ेगा, पढ़ाई लिखाई छुड़वा दो. सो नाउ वहाँ पे वॉलंटरीली पेरेंट्स बच्चों की पढ़ाई छुड़वा रहे हैं, not realizing what is the probability of your kid making it in sports. See, the probability is very low.
Yeah, because not everyone's gonna go to Olympics.
Exactly. So now, So because the probability is very low, what happens is at the age of, so say 14-15 साल की उम्र से full fledged sport में डाला. Let's take the example of shooting. Full fledged shooting में डाला. 22-23 साल की उम्र में आके पता चला कि नहीं यार बच्चे ने ठीक तो किया, बट उतना भी ठीक नहीं किया कि करियर बन जाए. अब 24-25 साल की उम्र में बच्चा क्या करेगा? पढ़ने की आदत नहीं, बस खाली खेल कूद अपने मर्जी से जो जैसा बोला वो आपने करना सीखा. You don't know how to work in a system, how to work in structure, how to take orders from your bosses. So now that's a major issue. So now this is an attitude problem where the parents and kids are only messing things up. And I have a simple belief: if you really want the athlete, if you really want to mess up an athlete's career, give him everything he wants. तुझे पढ़ाई छोड़नी है, छोड़ दे. तुझे इतनी क्या बोलते हैं, तुझे ये इक्विपमेंट चाहिए, ले ले. तुझे ये इतने कंज्यूमेबल्स चाहिए, ले ले. तुझे इतना एक्सपोजर चाहिए, ले ले. जो एथलीट को चाहिए ना ब्लैंक कागज पे, वो जो बोले आप उसको दे दो. You will screw up the athlete. Because everything, you start taking things for granted, you lose the most basic tenets that are required for performance. And अगर मैं आपको international players की बात करूँ, people who are actually winning those Olympic medals and all, those guys are actually working. Like shooting में जब हम जाते हैं, जर्मनी के players बहुत अच्छे हैं, but all of those guys are actually working. They're actually working in companies. They have a job से टाइम निकाल के वो ट्रेनिंग करने जाते हैं, ट्रेनिंग करके उनको अपने काम का बाकी चीजें करनी होती हैं. Now that is so important because they have to switch on, switch off. When they're working, they're working. When they're training, they're training. They can't take their training to work. They can't bring their work to training. So they learn to switch on, switch off. They learn to focus. They learn to keep their minds in their control. But हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है, सुबह से शाम तक लोग बस क्या कर रहे हैं, बस जी ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं. अरे इतनी ट्रेनिंग की क्या जरूरत है?
But don't you think today even the parents are pushing कि अभी basketball के लिए जाओ, अभी cricket के लिए जाओ, उसके बाद music class जाओ?
So see, this was the attitude problem. जैसे मेरे को तो ये भी पता है कि नॉर्थ में पेरेंट्स ने तक अपना काम धंधा छोड़ा हुआ है और वो अपने बच्चों के पीछे ही लगे रहते हैं जी, उसको ट्रेनिंग अकेडमी लेके जाना है. सो I think it's a very unhealthy scene that's happening. So one is the attitude जो हमारा एक है, that वो थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो रहा है. दूसरा now is a systems problem कि ठीक है, now let's suppose I put my daughter in sport because she chooses a particular sport, and I do the best that I can, research and get her into the best academy. She puts in her best effort, सब कुछ करती है. And let's suppose she is India number 4, India number 5. That's a great thing, right? But will we call her a success? No, because success मतलब अगर वो gold जीतेगी, silver जीतेगी तो ही success है, otherwise वो failure है. But now, because she has put in so many years into that sport, she knows the sport in and out. She has developed so many qualities as a person because of that sport, that now there needs to be an ecosystem which can absorb her to make the next line of not just champions, the next line of equipment, the next line of coaches, the next line of administrators, the next line of engineers required for the sport. So वो ecosystem है missing है हमारी country में.
Yeah, and if she had not studied along with playing this sport,
then of course
now she has no place to go back in that ecosystem, right? That's why the education and the sport,
I will give you my example. In 2017, the government of India sent me for a sports science and coaching program at the University of Birmingham. So the Sports Authority of India had a tie-up with the University of Birmingham, and certain few selected candidates were sent there. Now, when we were taken for the sports science practical class, दिखाने के लिए, I saw one of the athletes, one of the students, she was sitting there and reading something and making some notes. Not in the class, but बाहर बैठ के कुछ कर रही थी वो. And she looked a very familiar face. I'm forgetting exactly who she was. But when I asked the faculty there, she said she was 2012 London Olympic Games ki gold medalist for Britain. And she's sitting there and she's studying. What was she studying? She was trying to get a PhD in sports psychology, because she understands sport, she understands performance. Now she needs to get structured education in place so that she can now groom the next generation of athletes, not just in her sport, but across sports. Now, that is something we need. Why can a 27, 28-year-old get access to top-notch education in other countries, but हमारे यहाँ पे हम रोक लगा रहे हैं? Now मेरे को तो ये भी लगता है कि हम रोक लगा रहे हैं, या एथलीट भी इतना आलसी है इसको करना नहीं है. This is also a major problem.
They drop off. A lot of them also drop off at 10th grade, 12th grade, graduation.
आदत नहीं होती ना पढ़ने की. You can't develop that later.
Yeah, and it is very difficult for them to sit and concentrate.
But, at least there should be an option that even after
dropping out, they can go back.
Yes. Even at the age of 35, why can't you just educate
Of
someone?
course.
At least they
So
will
now
be
this is a
giving
two thing.
back.
One, you need opportunity for education, and second, you need the will to get yourself educated. हमारे यहाँ athletes का पता क्या हो गया? I am telling you this. हमारे यहाँ athletes का ये हो गया है, there is a sense of entitlement. जी मैंने आपके लिए इतने मेडल लिए थे, जी मैं ये था, जी मैं वो था, मैं काम धंधा करूंगा नहीं. गवर्नमेंट ने मेरा ख्याल रखना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे जॉब रिजर्वेशन देना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे प्लेटर पे सब कुछ रखना चाहिए. क्यों? मेडल आपको प्लेटर पे मिला था. Now I'll tell you something very interesting. 2012 Olympic Games, first Olympics of Heena's life. I was her coach there. अब ओलंपिक्स से पता क्या कर रहे थे? ओलंपिक्स से 3 महीने पहले जर्मनी में we were training and all those things, and every day for 3-4 hours what Heena had to do, study. She was in her 4th year, final year dentistry. Heena is a doctor today. अब आप मुझे बताओ कौन सा डॉक्टर आपको मिलेगा जो ओलंपियन है, या कौन सा ओलंपियन मिलेगा जो डॉक्टर है? हमने किया नहीं किया. आई एम अ मैनेजमेंट स्टूडेंट, आई एम अ लॉ ग्रेजुएट. तो हमने किया, and my experience tells me the best of my performances and the best of our performances came very close to our examination periods. Now why is that? Because during that time we had no opportunity or no time for distraction. Training करो, 2 ही घंटे मिलेंगे ट्रेनिंग के, पूरा ध्यान लगा के ट्रेनिंग करो. But once training is over, now you got to study. So you're not carrying forward those highs and lows of अच्छा अच्छी ट्रेनिंग हुई या बुरी हुई. You learn to move on. When you go to the competition, you stick to the task, you stay process oriented. You're not thinking ये हुआ तो क्या, वो हुआ तो क्या, because there is anyways अभी मैच करना है, मैच खत्म करके मुझे जाना है, मेरी ये क्लास है, कल मेरा वो एग्जाम है. You're constantly on the move. So there is no time for laziness, there is no time for weakness. You got to be cutthroat. Otherwise क्या है यार, you are learning to be an athlete. For me, an athlete is a warrior, is a soldier. And your competition is a war. War में ना 2 चीज होती है, मारो, एक्चुअली 3 होती है, मारो, मरो या भागो. ठीक है? In athlete parlance, it's basically जीतोगे या हारोगे. भागना is as good as हारना. So आपके पास choice क्या है? मारो या मरो. That is the choice. Now if that is not the kind of cutthroat attitude you have in life, you can't suddenly be a lazy bum and suddenly say मैं range पे आके तो जी I'm going to be a hard worker. It doesn't happen that way.
You spoke about system, you spoke about how Indian government works. While maybe an Olympian is getting those opportunities, you were sent for more lessons from Germany or whatever. But what about the 80% of the population which has not made it to the number 1 or the gold medal? What are they doing right now? Because once in a while we see it in the news also. Somebody who has gotten medals is probably selling groceries right now, or they are on the streets or just living in the chawls. That is also the condition when you go back to the athletes who come from rural areas. And you have a lot of athletes at your academy, and shooting itself has a lot of athletes who are coming from smaller cities and places. What is their way forward if they don't make it up?
So let's think of this. What is life? Life is a game. All right? Life is a game. It has certain rules, and you have to prepare, practice to win this game. Now, winning for everyone will be different. Success, happiness, contentment, etc., family, money, वगैरह जो भी है, ठीक है? So what do? You study the kind of course that you study, or you pick up a sport or something else, or you become a content creator now, you become an influencer, you go into arts, Bollywood, whatever. ठीक है? अलग-अलग जगह में you try and excel in life. And finally, who's the one that excels? The one that puts in the right effort that was required, and who had backups in place. कि अगर ये काम नहीं किया तो कुछ और. There are so many people who entered Bollywood, didn't do too well, but became great businessmen, or great at business who eventually became athletes, or athletes who became businessmen, or so many of such cross thing. So similarly, sport. Okay? Who becomes a champion in sport, who is able to perform not on their best day, who is able to perform irrespective of the situation. So someone who prepares for the worst day, someone who anticipates, plans, what are the things that can go wrong, and how do I deal with that? How do I train for that? All right. So in the same way, you are preparing, training to do well in your sport. But what if that doesn't work out? You have to have the brains to have your backups. Now that doesn't mean that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. No, it's not that, because these are also complementary skills. What you learn in sport leadership, communication, soft skills, all those other things will help you in your education and academics and other life. And what you're going to learn there, your critical thinking, your wider horizons, your just ability to think, analyze, reason, logic, all that will help you in sport. What happens is, without education, all your belief systems, all your decisions are mostly emotional, whereas sport requires logic. Right? Where does logic come from? Education. So you have to think of sport and education as two things which are eventually going to give you success. स्पोर्ट में आएगी, एजुकेशन में आएगी, या कहीं और आएगी पता नहीं, बट कहीं ना कहीं आपके पास आएगी. यू हैव मोर टूल्स इन योर आर्सेनल, यू हैव मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, यू हैव मोर options to eventually succeed. So I think that's how you should look at it.
Yeah, and I also feel that, like you said, we cannot depend on the government to just give everything in a platter. And now let's talk about the age group where these athletes are out there, and then what we do along the way. Post-retirement is also something people plan out. If somebody is an athlete, what kind of things they look forward to, or what horizons or industries that one can get into, if you can just shed some light on that.
I think post-retirement is one of the things that no athlete talks about while they are actively preparing. No team prepares them for this phase. Like, how to even decide when I need to quit. In shooting, we have a lot of athletes who just keep going on because this sport is not like other sports, so they can keep shooting. So they don't know when is that time to say okay, enough, and when to do that transition. It's very difficult. It's going to be difficult no matter what stage of life you are in. You were at the top, you were at the bottom, you were just doing okay. When you say bye to something that you made your whole identity, and then you're trying to make an entirely new career. Most of them would go in coaching or other boundary jobs around the athletes, coaching, psychologists, SNCs. There are a lot of jobs if you want to be in sports itself. But if you don't want to be in sports, that's an entirely different ball game. So upskilling yourself, going back to studies, and you could be in sports administration. You could be working with universities, schools to set up their systems. You could be closely working with the government. You could be closely working with your own federation to help them groom the newer generation. So there are options are a lot. But again, with female athletes, what happens is they get married, they get pregnant, kids are there, family is there, then traveling becomes a problem. Once you have a family, traveling becomes a problem even for men. It's not that easy, right? And sportsmen traveling is one of the biggest challenges. It's a big roadblock. But at the same time, what I feel, times are changing. There is a big demand for sports, and I am now venturing out, and I'm seeing there is a lot of demand if you're educated, and if you can if you know your skill, if you know your craft. Like, my craft is shooting, my craft is sport, but I'm also educated, so it gives me this another skill to present my skill in a way that you can understand, and I can help you implement it better. And like I said, sports is one of those industries which is AI proof. So I believe it's AI proof.
Of course it is.
So this is a good time to sort of get back into sports. You could be an engineer, design these wearables, design these sensors to pick up
sport
data.
Analytics.
Sports analytics is not really matured in our country. Sports science is not really matured. All these equipments that we need for sports science, they cost a lot, and most of them are imported. Work closely with federations, work closely with athletes, see what their demands are, help them design it, create startups over here, create unicorns over here. You don't need to be an athlete to do something in sports. Engineers, doctors, everybody can help in their own way.
And I guess today people are realizing that, and people are diverting. Even a startup today is related to sports.
But this is where the athletes need to realize कि उनको क्या लगता है कि इसके बाद हम कोच बन जाएंगे. अरे but अगर आप कोच बनोगे without managerial or administrative skills and अगर आपको कंप्यूटर भी यूज करना नहीं आता है तो फिर आपको 25-30 हजार की नौकरी मिलेगी ना. If you really want to make the big bucks, it's again comes down to education.
I will tell you something, that if you're an athlete who has in and out knowledge of one sport, say for example shooting or football or whatever, and then you upskill yourself after retiring in certain field that interests you, you can create better solutions than anyone who 100%. Has just studied 100%. And does not know what the problem in that sport is.
I feel if the athletes who are now retired, they all start their businesses in that particular field because they already know it so well. They will be like really good at it.
I think what government can do over here, rather than just giving free jobs, I believe government should also, they are setting up centers of excellence for sports. I think they should set up centers of excellence in sports education. So
sports manufacturing.
Not just sports education, how do I put it? Sportsman education. Yes, sportsman education. So people who have retired, maybe these universities have different branches, could be engineers, could be doctors, physiotherapists. So people who have technical know-how of one sport, they are coming here and getting upskilled, and what they do with their life is now their thing. So at least we are giving them the equality of opportunity. Okay, that's all we require and we are all used to the hard work.
So if you look at these, say the people who come to your house for AC repair or mechanics, garage or whatever, all right, so they are not really educated, but because they've done it, they're hands-on, they're so good at their job, right? Now imagine the athletes who are so good and hands-on in their particular field. Now you give them some kind of structured education, how much better they can become. So I think sports manufacturing in India is such a huge deal. We keep thinking of our forex reserves, rupee going down, there's that Atmanirbhar Bharat is up. Sports manufacturing is such a big industry which we are completely missing. Why are our equipment, in India we have lakhs and lakhs of shooters now, and every equipment costs lakhs and lakhs of rupees, and everything, ammunition, targets, sab kuch bahar se import ho raha hai. Simple example, why don't we have something? Why?
Yeah, even I feel we do a lot of tournaments when it comes to tennis. The rackets, even the smallest thing, everything is coming from the outside, and we also see that the audience is also missing. I feel the sponsorships are missing, the audience is missing.
That initiative, I think, is missing. That first step is always the toughest one. So it's
and I feel, like you said, right, we are missing on to whole one chunk. We have the talent, we have the skill. Today, let's talk about cricket. It's the elephant in the room. We cannot ignore that cricket has done its job. It's marketed well. The viewership, the timeline, the sponsorship, the celebrity, everything cricket gets. But there is so many sports which has talent, right? 1.4 billion people, like you said. Why are there no top footballers, or are they there and we are not able to see them? Are we not able to support them? As public, as audience, as government, where are we going wrong?
So see, I think cricket, everyone loves to bash cricket, ki sab cricket hi dekhte hai. But see, cricket took care of itself. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, I'm sorry to say, no matter what one wants to believe, we weren't great cricketers. We got thrashed left, right and center by England, Australia, West Indies. You're getting thrashed by West Indies. What is West Indies? Okay? But then in the 90s, when I think, I'm not sure, but maybe Jagmohan Dalmia or someone, when they came, they got the rights, they got the money. It's not just the rights and the money. Money to aa gaya. Then they put the money to good use. They put structures in place. They put systems in place. Grassroots programs were developed. Today, I'm telling you, India की 5th team भी आप अगर select कर लोगे ना, वो भी बाहर जाके finals जीतेगी या नहीं पता नहीं, finals में आ जाएगी. We're so good because पैसा आया. First, they monetized the sport. पैसा आया, and then they put the money to good use by creating systems, processes, and grassroots systems, right?
Such great marketers, I feel.
Yes. So why are we not monetizing our sport? I'll tell you, in every year, shooting on an average wins 100 to 150 international medals. 100 to 150 international medals won by shooters at recognized competitions, recognized by the government of India at government cost. And how many of us know about it? Why are we not putting in the effort to market it?
I was going to
Everybody is sitting on their bums. Nobody wants to put in the hard work.
No, I have a different take on it. I think that nobody... See, cricket didn't shy away from creating their heroes bigger than the sport. When they won the World Cup, Kapil Dev
Very important point.
became
Very important point.
bigger than the
Yes,
sport.
they
Then,
made their cricketers the
Cricketers.
heroes.
Yeah,
Yes.
even as marketers, the first lesson I learned was make your athletes the hero,
Yes.
and people will
yes,
follow.
worship.
yes.
Yes.
अरे आज मूवी भी तो हीरो के ऊपर चलती है.
Yeah.
You see now. Do you think that little kids when they look at football and they look at the field, they want to play football, or are they thinking about Messi and Ronaldo?
Yeah.
It is always the heroes who come first. Okay,
Yeah.
we have had heroes in gymnastics. Deepa Karmakar was there. We've had heroes in weightlifting. Okay, so many heroes. We've had heroes in rowing. These lesser known sports, I'm thinking of these lesser known sports where heroes were born and they were neglected.
But
Why do these federations shy away from making their heroes bigger
I'll
than
make
the
a controversial statement here. Because the guys running the federations are running it part-time, are running it honorary. Their skin is not in the game. So आज चाहे कोई भी federation हो, no matter how well-meaning the management is, no matter how good the management is, if their skin is not in the game, do you think Reliance can become Reliance if it was part-time for Mukesh Ambani? That is where you need to hold the bull by its horns. Boss, you are in professional sport. You know what is that sports budget? How much of your taxpayers' money goes into sports? And that sport is being managed and run by people honorary part-time?
And
What are you talking? This is criminal.
Now take this into account. When Messi came to India,
I was about to
so
ask.
when Messi came to
What
India,
fast that was.
एक second. So what does that show? There is enough interest in India.
Yeah.
There is enough money in our pockets.
Yes.
We are ready to give money just to see somebody wave.
Yeah.
Okay. So if someone is willing to give 10,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees, 8,000 rupees for a ticket to see him wave, I am sure they will be happy to give 200 rupees towards a common pot to send our boys somewhere to train them, to train our team for sports science, for this and that, whatever. Are we monetizing that? Are we looking into that? This whole system, this organizer who brought Messi to India, he's actually shown us a mirror, by the way. And he's shown us there's a way to collect public funds in a way that those funds can be utilized to bring these grassroots programs to the elite level and win medals.
But again, my point is,
but you need heroes. Messi. It was Messi. It was the hero.
The money and infrastructure is not the problem. There was a guy, a professional who did this.
That's what.
जिसका काम धंधा वो था. You can't bring in a politician, a bureaucrat, or someone जिसके लिए it's just a card पे, like a social status for him. That is the problem of Indian sports. We are trying to win with the professionals by being part-time.
But right, like you said, right, for Messi, everything was literally organized, from his travel to him coming to the stadium, and people were turned up. And there was a time where Sunil had to literally ask the audience, beg them, I please beg you, please come and watch us so that we get more sponsors. Please come. So look at this. It's the same sport. And he's also one of the top goal scorers, top 5 in the world. Why was he not made a hero?
Why would they make him a hero, na? Why would they make him a hero?
Because he'll become more important than the federation's bosses. That's a problem.
Who cares about
They
federation?
They care, no?
See, if the federation's boss was going to get a hike in his salary because of creating 10 champions, then he would create 10 champions. But वो boss को एक फुटी कौड़ी नहीं मिलने वाली, बल्कि इसको हीरो बना के वो उसकी खुद की वैल्यू डाउन कर रहा है.
And if you become big, there are other people who can replace you because it's an honorary position. So you want to be as big as you can control and manage.
So do you think
the BCCI structure was very different. It is created like an organization which is generating its own revenue and bringing products.
Highest revenue?
Yes. Yeah. Now, but with other sports, they are just waiting for government funds. They are working like NGOs.
Yeah.
So if the culture is an NGO versus a culture who is creating their own funds and who are connected to the audience and they are delivering what the audience wants to get, versus an NGO who's just ticking boxes. there may be some good apples who are very passionate about the sport, but the culture is such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The culture
But
is
then
such.
we are being unfair, and then we are complaining about medals. We are complaining about
It's
our
fashionable
Indian.
to complain.
But then it's again literally going back to the government. Like if they put
No.
in,
No,
it's
not at
us,
all.
audience.
It is because
It
the
is the
government is
federations.
supporting that everyone has become lazy. Say if government stopped supporting football,
Yes.
if government stopped supporting the Indian sports, क्या होगा पता है? ये जितने जो फेडरेशंस लेके बैठे हैं, एफर्ट डालना पड़ेगा ना टू रेज देयर ओन थिंग, दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा टू मार्केट, टू मोनेटाइज, तो आधे तो छोड़
Yeah.
देंगे.
Yeah, and then the right people will come in.
Yes.
Government
So
government still supports these federations, thinking के
society
athletes का नुकसान
finally it's
नहीं
good for
होना चाहिए.
society. Athletes मतलब finally your youth, your next generation, you know, it's
Absolutely. Because we see that even when it's tennis or any other game apart from cricket, the stadiums are empty.
Yeah.
And audience will come in when they see their
See,
heroes.
when you
or
are an honorary position and say फुटबॉल का एक मैच करा के, एक हॉकी का एक मैच करा के 500 करोड़ का सेल्स रेवेन्यू हुआ, but if the guy is running the show can't take a penny out of it, what is their motivation to do this?
yeah.
What is their motivation to do this? On the contrary, उनको हीरो बना के आपने अपनी वैल्यू डाउन कर दी.
But my question is this: say if you had Roger Federer playing, would you have fans coming?
100%.
So what does that show? So what does that show?
इतना बड़ा बन
So
गया
it
ना
is
हीरो.
not the tennis which is a problem. You have to create 10 Saina Mirzas.
Yeah, but and Indians are going to Wimbledon paying lakhs and
Correct.
crores of rupees. They're
Correct.
going to football
Yes.
matches in
So
Europe.
okay. Where was Kabaddi 20 years back?
Now look at Pro Kabaddi.
Yeah. So you have to create a product. You have to understand what the audience likes to see on the television. You have to market
But
it
again,
that
coming
way.
back to my point, Pro Kabaddi Federation is not doing anything great. It is
Yes.
Pro Kabaddi.
So
Why?
that's
Because
what
the
I'm
guys,
saying.
the corporates have put in the teams, they put in their money, they
Yes.
put in professionals who are getting paid.
There
and if
are-
they don't do their job, they'll be fired.
There-
So get professionals, pay them, incentivize them.
There are a lot of case studies. If we want to talk about this topic, there are a lot of case studies like Kho-Kho, Kabaddi.
Was ISL also
Are
not a
now this
federation?
Yeah, so that is a complete different politics and different dynamics only. ISL because they became bigger than the federation. वो तो पूरी मतलब वो matter ही total अलग है.
But अभी fade out भी हो रहा है ना?
Fade out हो रहा है, yeah. At least I am not well versed to comment on the ISL dynamics.
But that's what I'm saying. Can I let's be honest. Politics यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है, हर जगह हो रहा है.
Yes.
Yes.
एंड जहाँ पे पैसा है वहां पे तो होगा ही, क्रिकेट में
Yes.
तो होगा ही, बट यहाँ पे तो दिख भी नहीं रहा है पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है, ना प्लेयर्स दिख रहे, ना हम मेडल्स देख पा रहे हैं, और अगर मेडल्स जीत के भी आ रहे तो पता नहीं. लाइक द बैडमिंटन प्लेयर, ही जस्ट वन द बिगेस्ट गेम एंड ही केम बैक एंड देयर वाज नो वन टू रिसीव हिम एट द एयरपोर्ट, बट व्हेन वी वन द वर्ल्ड कप we were on the streets like
But
lakhs
see,
of
that
rupees.
happens with Americans and British and Germans also. When they win and go back, who's coming to receive them? ये क्या हम finally hero worship की ऐसी सब बातें कर रहे हैं?
No, but we are talking that if you want to
Acknowledgement.
uplift the sport, how do you create heroes? So the thing is, the federation, when somebody wins the medal, they have to put in the money to create that initial
Investment.
buzz.
Investment.
Nobody wants to do that.
See, look at it as a product.
But एक second. How will they even do it? Let's go one step further. I am the president of say badminton federation. Okay, I want to do it, but the kind of funding that I get from the government, marketing of an athlete is not in the budget. If I want to do it, I have to raise my own budget. Okay, now if I want to raise my own budget, my sport should be anyway a little popular. So it's sort of like a chicken and egg situation, but you have to start somewhere. You have to pick PV Sindhu. What a star they have. What a star they have. Okay, she's already very big, but you need to take her, uplift the sport, put it at a level where it becomes sort of like cricket, start generating revenue. Now put that revenue back into getting more eyeballs for your sports, more fan engagement. What do they want to see? Get broadcasters on board, sell the rights to matches. This is what you need to do.
And I also feel that somewhere when we talk about sponsorships, right? Sponsors भी उसी sport को मिलेंगे जहाँ पर सबसे ज़्यादा eyeballs हो.
Yeah, eyeballs will have to come first.
Yeah, and then the sponsors will come in, because I feel a lot of these corporates or companies, I remember K Beauty by Katrina, They did a reel with one of the tennis athletes, still like, in the top 5 of India. And that's how people got to know her. So even if these companies are ready to invest in them, we need to just make
But
them
the
or get them to a
onus has
certain
to come from the federation. उस player को popular बनाने का काम
काम
federation का
federation का
है.
है.
But federation वो काम तभी करेगी अगर वो काम करने से finally when he say federation means what? It's human beings, no?
Yeah.
When those human beings are incentivized to do it, and when the athlete becomes big or when you do well, it also pays them. It also benefits them. तब जाके होगा,
100%.
otherwise नहीं होगा. ये नेकी कर दरिया में डाल वाली बात हो रही है. सो ये ऐसे नहीं होता है. टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ शूटिंग. इन द 1970s 80s कोई मेडल नहीं आते थे. 90s में मेडल आने शुरू हुए धीरे धीरे. कहाँ से आए? गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट से ही आए ना. बिकॉज धीरे धीरे यू लर्न द स्किल्स. कोचिंग आप बाहर से बुलाते हो, करते हो, धीरे धीरे आप इंप्रूव करते हो, एक आधा 2 मेडल आने लगता है. दैट इज योर फ्री टिकट टू मार्केटिंग. थोड़ा बहुत आप मार्केट करो, थोड़ा बहुत PR वगैरह करो. करते पहले 2-4 मेडल आए, 20-40 मेडल आए, अब 100 मेडल आ रहे हैं. But are you really monetizing it? Are you really putting in any proactive measures for marketing? No, you're not doing it. So initially government supports आपको धीरे धीरे performance आने लगी, but now back it up with your marketing, your PR. How do you monetize? Why should someone pick up the sport? What are the benefits of the sport? How are we
Grassroots
contributing?
program.
How are we contributing to society? How are kids becoming better? How is it entertaining? So you got to market the sport. Look
Is
at it as
that-
business.
Is that the reason why today pickleball is more popular than maybe shooting?
No, pickleball is a community phenomenon.
Yeah.
Pickleball is a total community phenomenon. Matlab, 5 friends want to get together and they go to the court, networking, and it's fun. It's like going to the gym with your friends. Taking that gym membership or taking that Pilates membership. It is sort of like that. Pickleball is completely a community phenomenon.
Is
But
it
I
a
think
fad?
pickleball अगर 15 साल पहले आया होता ना तो नहीं चलता. ठीक है, but I think now the generation
Social
is
media.
changing. Social media generation is changing. People are a lot more. See, today if you see, alcohol consumption is going down.
Yes.
People are getting a little more aware about what food to eat. Fitness generally वो हो रहा है. तो generally I think our
It's come at the
society
right
also
time.
yes. And plus I think और कहीं ना thanks to Bollywood churning out horrible movies, people have no avenues of entertainment. So now this has become their source of entertainment, I would say. Look at how many Bollywood people are only going and playing pickleball.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's talk about an athlete's journey, right? Irrespective of what age, at what level they are, or even if they have reached the world number ones. What are the sacrifices that people don't see? Because we hear the applause, we hear the cheers, the medals, we can see it. We see once in a while the newspapers, but what happens behind the scenes?
Okay, so I think the biggest challenge that or the biggest sacrifice that nobody knows is that as an athlete you're just alone. You're completely alone, and people are there with you because you have this job of winning the medals. But once you stop, even they go their own way. Your coach will be there training somebody else, your psychologist with someone else, your physiotherapist with someone else, and people you thought that these are my close teammates, close members of the team who will always be there for me. Suddenly even they are gone. But that's the hard reality, right? A medal above everything else. Athletes are also expendables. People don't know that we are expendables. Like जवान होता है ना border पे, बेचारा गोली खाता है, then the next one comes. It's sort of like that. We are expendables. We are as good as we are. We hone this body, we train this body, use it like a tool to win that medal, and then after that it's someone else.
You're not looked at as human beings. You're looked at as
and you also start looking at yourself like that. How good you are, it starts defining you. Are you good enough to win that medal? Starts defining everything around you. If I'm drinking water, I'm not drinking because I'm feeling thirsty. I'm drinking because I need to finish my 4 liters of water. Okay, if I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping because I need to get that 11 hours of sleep. It may not be because I'm feeling sleepy. So everything that you do in the day, I don't want to have coffee. Like I can have coffee now, but if it was my playing days, I wouldn't be having this coffee ever. Not
especially
even in the
at this
morning.
time of the day.
Not even in the morning. I was not allowed. No sugar. So every decision you take is just to make something of this body, to make it ready to get that medal, and after that nothing. So you get those medals and
see, nobody's concerned with you as a human being. As long as you can deliver, people want to look at you. Otherwise, aapne to koi aur.
Yeah.
You know. So it is so competitive. It is so lonely, and there's so much of insecurity because you never know what is going to take that away from you. Yeah. So that has a lot of mental challenges, a lot of mental demons, and that insecurity just has a lot of sides to mental illnesses.
Yeah, but that also brings me to the question, like you said, mental illness, you said loneliness. Even though athletes have the strongest mental health, they are resilient, they are patient. But there are also statistics which say depression or addictions and all of that coming together at every stage of the career. Have you seen such cases?
I am one case.
Yeah, Heena's one case. So I'll tell you one very interesting. Let me tell you the interesting about your world record. So Heena and me, as a team, we had a goal of a world record, world number 1, but more so a world record. But India में already Anjali पहले एक world number 1 बन चुकी थी, and pistol में कोई बना नहीं था. But still, world record would be something that you achieve which nobody else has achieved till date, right? And this one particular competition, and we started working just about 2 years ago. So like 2011 में हमने साथ में काम करना शुरू किया, and we started getting good results. And 2013 में Heena was say top 10 of the world qualify for this World Cup final. She was 11th, and one of the top 10 pulled out, and that's why she got a chance to go there. And all of those things happened. We reached the World Cup final with whatever preparation that we could do in the end. She qualifies for the final, and she makes a world record in that final, which is the first ever by an Indian pistol shooter, woman, this, that, becomes world number 1, world record holder ho gaya. And after that world record, what would you expect us to have done?
Celebrate.
She was crying all night. I was hoping we will celebrate, but she was crying all night.
Was it happy tears or
no? Sad tears, because she felt that ये इतना जल्दी कैसे आ गया, तो मैंने expect ही नहीं किया. It just came too easy. I thought I would need to toil a lot more for this. It just happened unexpected. So just imagine.
No, and I believe that I didn't deserve it because I was 11th. So somebody else pulled out. So that's when I came here. So sometimes, when you are going for something which you feel that may never happen, okay, but I'm still going to go all out for it. And then when you get it, something that you didn't believe that you will really 100% get it. It was an idea that you were chasing with everything that you have, and now that it is yours, I think the first thing you will ever feel will be sadness. I truly believe it. If you really want
post-Olympic depression, what is that? Same thing.
I really believe that if you've worked very, very hard for something and you've worked very long, once you get it, the first thing you will feel is sadness, because now suddenly you don't know what else to work on.
Yeah, because you've not planned for what after.
Yeah, you didn't plan for this moment. You were just running after it.
But जब वो moment आएगा फिर क्या?
First thing you will feel is sadness. That's when it'll
not sadness, I think hollowness.
Yeah. And then once you sort of accept it and you live with it for a few days, then slowly that happiness will come. It will become a part of you, part of your identity. But the first thing would be, now what? That is what post-Olympic depression is.
I never heard this term. Is it common?
Oh yeah.
It's very common.
It's very common.
Post-Olympic depression is very common. All the athletes, like all the greats.
So you
name
like
them, and
you did everything in the day. To how you were breathing also was controlled by what's going to help you in performing. And now when your match is over, whether good or bad, whatever, अब next day अब उठो, अब क्या करूँ मैं? What is going to push me out of the bed?
After my first Olympics, so the match is done. Okay, I didn't make it into the finals. So just see that I've been visualizing I'm in the finals. I'll do this. I'll do that. I didn't make it into the finals. So
we missed out very narrowly. Yeah.
I'm sitting in the final hall and looking at some others performing. I don't even know how to sit. I don't know, is this the way to sit? Am I supposed to sit somewhere? I'm just like a zombie. Okay. And after that, I go back to the village, and there's food in front of me, and I'm looking at it because I didn't plan for this. My whole life has been so planned. Even the bathroom breaks were planned. Yeah. How much water I'm going to have is planned. Everything is planned, and now the plan has ended. And now I'm looking at the food. Am I allowed to have this? I'm looking at the water. I'm thinking, where does this fit in? So now I can just go to the bathroom whenever I want. Now I can just sleep whenever I want. I can just watch Netflix till 3 a.m. No, I don't. This life I don't understand. Now, somebody please just give me the structure again. Just tell me what to do for the next 4-5.
Because you're wired like that.
We are wired like that. You don't realize when did you become a robot, and
because
then
that is how much we are putting in,
and that takes days and days for you to just come back. So 2016, my second Olympics, we started planning for 1 day ahead.
Yeah.
So 1 day ahead, just 1 day after the Olympic match. That's it. So, and then my psychologist had a plan. We just bought a flat over here. So he would not just talk about the Olympics, he would also talk 1 year ahead. Like after that, you're going to go back and you have this flat and you need to set it up. You need to do the interiors.
So was
and
he
everything.
preparing you for
Yes,
that?
so that I don't have the post-Olympic depression.
And do you think therapy or counseling is common in Indian society when it comes to sports? Otherwise तो है ही
Sports
नहीं.
में तो बहुत common है, because as sportsmen we know when to ask for help. We ask for help 24 hours. We ask for help from our coaches, from our psychologists,
and
from
now
everybody.
It's there. I mean, every team almost now.
Yeah.
Like in my time, there were no sports psychologists, but now there are.
I don't think a sportsman would feel shy in taking therapy unless he's a man.
Men still.
Even
like, now in the team, there are almost everybody. They take help of a psychologist. So
psychologist
things
is
are changing.
Different thing. I'm talking about a therapist.
Therapist, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe the machoism maybe comes in the way. Yeah.
Yes.
See, you have seen shooting closely from last, I don't know, 3 decades.
Yeah.
From you being an athlete to then training with Heena to now, like you seeing the Manus and Isha Singh and all of these people. How did shooting change over time? And how is it different? Like, how did it change and evolve in last 3 decades?
It's evolved. It's not the same anymore, I would say. So, when I started shooting, initially, you had to be in the top 8 in the national championships to even be able to import and own your equipment. Imagine, आप top 8 में आओगे कैसे अगर आपके पास equipment नहीं है तो वो दिन से आज, even if you become a member of a shooting club, you can buy your own equipment, an Olympic grade equipment. आप import कर सकते हो, आप पे GST लगेगी. अगर आप national qualified हो तो GST नहीं लगेगा. That is the only thing, but you can own it. We used to be in training camps. Training camps में training hours would be say from 9 to 1. That's 4 hours, and then 3 to 5. 6 hours of training. Today athletes consume about 250 to 300 shots in 4 hours of training. हमें 6 घंटा ट्रेनिंग करवाते थे और 50 गोली मिलती थी. So, we've seen those days, and we did not have electronic targets. We would shoot on paper targets. We would reach the internationals, get only one training session on the electronic targets, and were expected to perform on electronic targets without any education of what electronic targets are like, what are the distractions you will face, and how to overcome and all those things. वो कुछ था ही नहीं. मेरा पूरा career निकल गया, मुझे पता नहीं था physiotherapist क्या होता है. Till I was an active athlete, I did not know who physiotherapist was. So those were the days, But now things have changed. Education, exposure, government support, everything has improved. Unfortunately, I mean, initially, we needed foreign coaches to come and give us the technical know-how. But what
isn't
happened,
it still the same thing today?
Unfortunately, yes. What's happening is, what we do is we don't. That's what I'm saying. यहाँ systems and processes की problem है कि हम बाहर से foreign experts को बुलाते हैं. एक तो बजट लगा देते हैं. तो अब आपको मीडियोकर बजट में तो मीडियोकर एक्सपर्ट ही मिलेगा ना, वो तो एक्सपर्ट ही नहीं है. तो अब बाहर से सब स्टैंडर्ड किसी को आप बुलाते हो, पैसे खर्च भी करते हो, ही इज नॉट गुड इनफ. चलो थोड़ा बहुत जैसा भी है, एटलीस्ट उससे आप अपने 10 अलग कोचेस को तो ट्रेन करवाओ. वो बस आते हैं, एथलीट्स को कोच करके चले जाते हैं. सो टिल डेट वी आर एंडिंग अप रिलाइंग ऑन फॉरेन प्रोफेशनल्स, वेयर एज वी शुड हैव डेवलप्ड आवर ओन लाइन ऑफ कोचेस. सो ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर देयर. But as far as facilities, infrastructure is concerned, I would say India has the best infrastructure in the world. I am not saying this across sports. I'm pretty sure even in other sports we have decent infrastructure, but at least in shooting, we have the best infrastructure. Money is not the problem. Government supports us well enough. We just need to get a little more smarter with the way we use our funds.
Yeah.
And the biggest advantage of shooting is it is an individual sport. So it's not like you need a certain number of people to play. It's a weatherproof sport. बारिश है, धूप है, 46 डिग्री है, -5 है, कुछ भी हो, you can still compete and train because it's indoors. Most of the most popular event, the 10-meter event, no arms license required for that. Anybody age 10 and above is good enough to start off the sport. So, weatherproof, individual sport, no politics, no bias, no team dynamics ki selection mein kya hoga. You may be a VVIP's फैमिली मेंबर, बट आपने अगर 98 स्कोर किया है और अगर मैंने 99 स्कोर किया है, I will get the medal, I will get the selection. So I think shooting is a beautiful sport, individual, measurable, objective sport. So I think shooting, I would say, I mean, because of course I have my biases towards the sport. इंडिया में तो एक लॉ बन जाना चाहिए that everybody, every kid from the age of 10 to 15 compulsorily must shoot. बिकॉज एक तो आपको बहुत जबरदस्त टैलेंट मिल जाएगा, टैलेंट नहीं मिला तो कम से कम लाइफ स्किल्स तो सीख ही जाएंगे वो.
एंड वन क्वेश्चन टू बोथ ऑफ यू, इफ यू हैड टू डिफाइन और से give the audience an information about what makes an athlete world number 1 and who is the world number 10, and there is a huge difference, I feel, why somebody is 1 and 10 in India or globally. What is different?
I think talent-wise, they would not be different.
Yeah.
Probably the hard work is where the difference would lie. But mostly the attitude, the way they think, the way they look at themselves, that's where the difference would be immense, especially in shooting. I think in other sports also.
Does this destiny play a role?
No, I would go one step ahead and say systems. The kind of decisions we take, the kind of systems and processes we have. See, आप जितना higher level पे जाते हो ना, उतना margin of error आपका कम हो जाता है. So you may be very talented, you may have great attitude, great equipment, सब कुछ आपका सब perfect हो, but अगर आपका environment, atmosphere, systems, processes अगर perfect नहीं है, you will miss out by that whisker. And I would say, जैसे हमारे पिछले Olympics में भी we did well, we got 3 medals, but we had also a lot of close 4th place finishes, but I was part of the team. I know where the systems and processes could have been better, but unfortunately what happens is, when you
really
make,
think it was the systems and processes
Yes.
that made a lot of 4th place finishes?
No, not just the 4th place finishes, I'm saying
I
in
also
general,
believe that
but one second,
that they sort of like that fear and that thing
I
is
feel
still there.
you need to take the right decisions at the right time. And what happens is, because the guys sitting at the top are not experts, they don't have the conviction to take the right decision, so they take decisions which are popular, जो उनको controversy में नहीं डालेंगे. So what happens is you end up taking popular decisions, not the right decisions.
But what is the difference between an athlete who's at number 1 and number 10? The question was the athlete.
But अगर systems are not supporting the athlete,
but you may have the best systems. But you may have the best systems. And
Okay, let's make it simpler.
Not every best system will give you all world number 1s, na?
Yeah.
What is the difference
but I
between
would
that
say
athlete?
there's a huge percentage.
I would say that at least in shooting, all the number 4 finishes, or even in other sports, like I closely watched badminton and other sports, Mirabai Chanu, Vinesh Fogart, what happened. So Vinesh Fogart, keeping that aside, because that was completely unfortunate. But I do feel that we do have something stopping us, that we don't believe that we belong here.
But is that
But I would
Indian
say
thing?
No, it's not an Indian thing. No, it's not an Indian thing.
But then why does China have more medals? US has like 120.
It took one. When it comes to multi-sports, talk to me. Talk to him about shooting. So he's applying what he knows about shooting.
See,
across
husband-wife
sport.
friction तो हो गई.
So it took one Neeraj Chopra to make a nation believe, and now we have so many javelin players. Everybody wants to throw a javelin, and it's easy. Yeah. Okay, you just need an open field. In India, you can start, practicing this sport if you have an open field with very little budget. Athletics is like that, right? There are kids now interested in becoming the next Neeraj Chopra. All we need is a hero. Give me one hero and the whole India will believe in it. It took Kapil Dev to produce the next Sachin Tendulkar. It took Sachin Tendulkar to produce the next Kohli. Now we've got 1,000 Kohlis. Right? So you need that one person to tell you that we can do it. You know how, do you know who climbed the Mount Everest first? it was thought in history that we can never climb Mount Everest. The moment the first person climbed, in the first year, we had around 32 people climbing the same peak. Okay, that's not just an Indian thing, it's a human psychology thing. So if this was really an Indian thing, then why did this happen to Mount Everest? It's not an Indian thing. I think this is the biggest stereotype. You remember you asked me this question, what is the biggest
stereotype?
Yeah. I think stop talking about Indian DNA or Indian thinking in the sense that we are non-achievers. No, this thinking is exactly the same with any country that has gone through this phase where you're at the cusp but not really there. We need to see that somebody did it. Once we see that somebody did it, we will put our heart and soul into it. Otherwise, it does seem like a very risky proposition. Dhoni was a goalkeeper before he went into cricket, right? Yeah. It was easier to start cricket because in India there are grounds and everywhere, the coaches are there.
But again, no, what I am saying is, yes, they will do all of those things. They will be very talented. सारा मेहनत, खून पसीना सब बहाएंगे. End में आप वहाँ आके इतने से चूक जाओगे because the systems and processes bottled you up.
That's a coach take, and I feel there's an athlete take here. Yeah. But like you said, infrastructure. There was a basketball player who unfortunately passed away because the pole fell on him. So even that is there. No, so javelin ka agar even if it's an open ground, but if he kind of reached to a certain level, and if that is happening, then again people are going to just be like, what is even happening in India, right? So my question goes back to, that's the reason why I asked, is it something which is related to Indian DNA or government or the federation?
No, so that is like having आपके road में pothole क्यों होते हैं? Substandard work. It's got nothing to do with sport. वो जिस आदमी ने काम किया वो काम चोरी की उसने, पैसे चुराए. That's all. So it's like
तो हर जगह हो रहा है फिर sports में सबसे ज़्यादा.
So it's an attitude problem. जब एक बच्चा आगे निकलता है, वो स्पोर्ट में है तो दिल से काम करेगा, पढ़ाई कर रहा है या इंजीनियर बनना है तो नहीं करेगा, ऐसा थोड़ी है. It's an attitude problem. Indians need to get professionals. We need to stop looking at people to support us and just get that.
And we need to stop saying this. You know, Indians bottle up or Indians.
No. I'm not saying Indians bottle up.
No, she's correcting me.
I'm telling her that we need to stop saying that because that has become our. This is the internal story.
The talent and hard work is not the problem.
No, I mean this is the internal story we are telling ourselves. Okay, tomorrow if I put you now, if you have this kind of story.
Simple question: how many decisions of the federation stopped you from performing or forced you to shoot at competitions you didn't have to shoot? How many times bureaucratic decisions were taken which stopped us from performing? This is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. People feel उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है. Not at grassroots levels, but at elite level, every decision that you make, कि मैं 6 घंटा सोऊं या 9 घंटा सोऊं, वो भी फर्क पड़ता है.
It makes a difference.
Yes, so that is the systems and processes.
Okay. I also asked one more question. Who made shooting popular in India, or the hero of shooting? I want you to tell, like, who's now, who was before.
Without fail, someone who got shooting into the limelight, Jaspal Rana. Without fail. You know, उसके पहले लोगों को पता नहीं था कि shooting मतलब camera shooting या film shooting. So my father won the first Commonwealth Games gold. The record still stands. And shooting का थोड़ा बहुत government में ये एक importance बढ़ी कि वो India can win gold at the Commonwealth Games. But consistently to win those medals and then at Asian Games was Jaspal Rana. So Jaspal Rana के आने से क्या हुआ कि थोड़ा policies and government started giving us some importance. And then what changed completely was Abhinav's gold and the Delhi 2010 Commonwealth Games. That because India won so many medals in shooting, so तब जाके shooting की एक movement हुई and organically the sport grew. And now of course with Manu Bhakar's historic 2 back-to-back Olympics, there's nothing stopping us now.
So break it or keep it section. Just tell me whether just one liner, okay? Every child should play one sport until class 10th.
Yes, keep it.
Marks matter more than medals.
No, neither marks nor medal. It's the way you play.
Cricket overshadows every other sport in India.
Sort of.
Talent beats discipline when it comes to shooting.
No, always discipline.
I think hard work beats both.
Okay. Parents are the biggest influence on an athlete's career.
Yes, also their peers. I would say they are neck to neck.
Social media is helping athletes?
Very few of them. Maybe after they win the medals, commercially it helps, but a lot of them are not able to win medals because other time spent कर रहे हैं उसमें.
A sport should be compulsory in school.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
India is ready to become a sporting superpower.
No, we are just there, but
Yeah.
we need to do a lot of work.
Playing for India is financially secured.
Playing for India? No, it's not financially secure. Only when you win, then maybe.
And winning is everything.
Unfortunately, till date, yeah, because it's only
Winning
after
is
winning you get
everything,
everything.
yeah.
But hopefully, things will change.
Winning is everything, that's true, but that is not something we like to say to ourselves.
Process over
Mhm.
results.
A quick rapid fire, but slightly personalized. Who's more competitive?
Me.
He is.
Who apologizes first after an argument?
Definitely me.
Who is the stricter parent?
I am.
Also the better parent, I would say.
Who gives better advice under pressure?
Under pressure, I perform much better than him.
Ha. That's why she is world number one. No, many times.
Okay. Who takes longer to get ready?
Yeah, I have to. I've got more hair than him.
And I don't use makeup.
He always has to come back with an answer. No?
Yes, you see now.
We're competitive. Come on.
No. This is a competitor that I'm not even competing with. He doesn't realize. I'm in a different
Who she
event.
ended up marrying. Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
in a
chalo.
different event.
Yeah,
वो
yeah.
मेरे साथ ही competition कर रहा है.
One habit of each other that secretly annoys you.
He's always on the phone. जितना ज्ञान दिया है ना जो लोगों को, don't be on the phone and the
That's
screen.
for work.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
one thing that
Heena, I think she can't take it easy. हमेशा ही थोड़ी uptight रहती है.
But is that the reason also she kind of is she who is she?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, yeah.
I'm always changing. I'm always
But I can
looking
see
for
the change now. I can
improvement,
see
yeah.
the change. Yeah.
Which one of you is more likely to say, let's train for 1 more hour or let's just go
I am.
shoot for an hour more?
I
Heena.
am.
Who's more patient?
I am.
No, I think I am. Depending on the situation, I would say.
Okay. Complete the sentence. The best thing about Heena or Ronak is.
Best thing about Ronak is I forgot यार 2-3 दिन पहले तुमको बोला था मेरे को रट्टा मारना चाहिए आंसर का
I think
I will tell you the best thing about each other now after 13 years of getting married we realize in a moment and then we forget it. Oh my god,
so we don't have the spikes. We have a very stable relationship.
yeah, we just realize, my god, if this was somebody else other than him, this would be very different. But then you forget about it. It's not something that you
But do you have anything, one best thing about Heena?
I think it's not one best thing because now with I've seen Heena as a teenager and then as a girlfriend and wife and now as a parent.
Wow.
I think now what I remember is Abhika. Na? So I think the best thing about Heena is what I see her now as a mother, how she's the kind of effort she puts in and how she puts the kid first. I think I'm falling in love with her all over again because I
Wow.
see how much she loves my kid.
Wow,
Our kid.
that's sweet. That's sweet. Okay. A little bit of shooting edition. One habit every athlete should start today.
Every athlete should start today. I think sleeping. Yeah.
And I would say half an hour of doing nothing, learn to get bored.
Yeah. I rest and recovery. I think
Yeah.
athletes need to start
Very
understanding rest and recovery.
One habit every athlete should quit immediately.
I think screen time, and I'm sure sugar.
One myth about becoming an Olympian.
Oh yes, one myth I'll tell you. Spread by all these movies, Dangal and Mary Kom. End moment पे आपको पूरा
हाँ.
flashback आता
Emotions
है,
really,
and
yeah.
oh my god, and then I get this adrenaline rush, and then I'll do
Go and win.
Guys, this is not what happens. And if it happens, the only thing would happen is that you would be right in the last. So we don't. Sometimes when you are in the zone and you are performing that well, you don't even realize things around you. And once you won, that's when it starts seeping in. So everything you see on the movies, I'm telling you this because everywhere I go to give a speech or whatever, they keep asking me, "Ma'am, आपने last moment पे क्या सोचा?" And I'm thinking,
कुछ
अगर
भी नहीं.
सोचो तो हार जाते हैं.
कुछ भी नहीं आया दिमाग में. Yeah.
One advice to every coach in India.
It is a very responsible job. Don't take it casually. And before you say anything, please be sure कि आप जो बोल रहे हैं उसका कुछ scientific evidence है.
if you could change one rule in the Indian sports tomorrow, what would it be?
The bosses have to be paid professionals.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to have handsome salaries. So this is the only thing they do and nothing else. And they are looking at ways to improve their performance, go one step higher,
Yeah.
get promotions. It has to be treated like a corporate culture. How are we going to do it? I don't know.
And one last thing, one stereotype that you would like to break when it comes to this industry, sports in general, or in India, or parenting, or maybe one each.
Okay.
So from my experience, I would say even in sports, and unfortunately, maybe because of the way our society is designed, age gets more importance for experience and expertise, not merit. So I think if we stop looking at age and if we stop looking at nationality and if we were objectively cutthroat looking at merit, I think that would do a lot of good to us. So age is not necessarily good.
I can't think of a stereotype. I just remembered a person that I was having a meeting with, online meeting. I was meeting them for the first time. And the first thing she said was, "Oh my God, you're good looking. You're not like an athlete." And it was such a backhanded comment. I was like, "Thank you." She said, "No, no, no. I'm telling you." And after a while, I said, "Okay." And we started talking. "No, you speak very well also. You're not like a sports person."
That's
Okay.
sad. No?
That's
Yeah,
sad.
that's
Yeah.
sad. Yeah.
That's
okay.
sad.
Yeah.
I want the country to look at us as normal individuals. Some of us do speak well, some of us don't. Some of us are good looking according to you, some of us may not be. But we are just Indians. Like, we come from all of you. Yeah.
True. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I guess we covered everything, and I feel a lot of people will take away, be it parents, be it athletes, shooters, everyone. So I hope you also enjoyed.
Yes, we did.
And
Absolutely, had a great conversation, and I hope it resonates and helps the crowd who are watching. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
I hope you all love the show. So keep learning, keep getting inspired, and keep breaking stereotypes. Like, follow, and share.